Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at 7 of the worst new motorcycles that riders end up regretting after buying. Let's get into it. Number 7. Honda Shadow Phantom. The Honda Shadow Phantom definitely gives off that tough rebellious vibe, but once you actually riding it, it feels like you're crawling behind a minivan during rush hour. It has the blackout styling, the low-slung seat, and just enough attitude to trick you into thinking $8 grand gets you something edgy. But once you roll away, reality hits harder than a DMV waiting line. That 745cc V-twin engine is about as thrilling as a lukewarm decaf coffee. It's manageable for short city trips, but try merging onto the freeway and you'll wish you'd chosen literally anything with more strength. It's not only slow, it's the type of slow that makes you wonder if you accidentally left the parking brake on. As for comfort, picture a park bench with wheels. The rear suspension is stiff enough to remind you of every pothole your city forgot to fix. And although the low seat might sound good, it cuts into cornering clearance so much that you'll scrape the pegs before the fun even begins. Tech features? Don't expect anything. No traction control, no ride modes, and some versions don't even come with ABS. For nearly $9 grand, you're basically buying a speedometer and a batch of buyer's remorse. And resale value drops faster than your excitement after the first week. Bottom line, the Shadow Phantom looks the part, but the ride has no substance. You're paying for style, and the experience ends up feeling like a disappointment. Number 6. Harley-Davidson Nightster. The Harley-Davidson Nightster tries to deliver Harley's soul in a minimal modern format, but somehow manages to mishandle nearly everything. With a starting price just above $13,000, it seems reasonable until you realize how much you're missing. The 975cc Revolution Max engine looks promising on paper, but in the real world, it offers a ride that's more forgettable than exciting. It lacks the punch Harley fans expect. Instead of a roaring cruiser, you get a bike going through an identity crisis. Build quality feels more plastic than premium, and from a brand known for steel and timelessness, the Nightster feels like a budget cut wearing a disguise. Suspension is stiff enough to shake your fillings loose, and the ergonomics feel confused. It's like Harley couldn't decide between a laid-back cruiser and an aggressive cafe racer, so they landed awkwardly in the middle. The worst part is that after taxes, dealer fees, and the essential upgrades needed just to make the bike tolerable, you're close to spending $16,000. At that price, a used Fat Bob with real attitude suddenly makes more sense. Bottom line, the Nightster is what happens when tradition and trendiness collide and lose. Ride it long enough and you'll realize this isn't the Harley you show off. It's the one you quietly trade in. Number 5. Kawasaki Eliminator. The Kawasaki Eliminator looks like it should be a blast, but ends up feeling like something you'd scroll past on Craigslist with a must-go tag. With a price just under $7,000, it's sold as a sleek modern cruiser, but what you actually get feels like a confused mashup of beginner bike and midlife crisis impulse buy. It's low and lightweight, sure, but once you push past 55 miles per hour, that 451cc parallel twin engine starts sounding like it's begging for mercy. Twist the throttle and you'll quickly realize this is no muscle cruiser, it's more like a gym membership you forget to use. Comfort-wise, the seat feels like Kawasaki looked at a cafeteria tray and said, "Yeah, that'll do." After 45 minutes, your back starts filing complaints. The rear shocks don't offer much help, especially if you're heavier than 160 pounds or live somewhere with moon crater roads. For all its urban rebel styling, it doesn't even include a gear indicator, so you're basically guessing your way through the ride like a lost tourist. Fuel economy isn't awful, but the tiny 3.7-gallon tank means more gas stops than any commuter bike should require. And resale? It hangs around the used market longer than a bad dating profile. In short, the Eliminator tries hard to seem cool but ends up feeling like a cover band pretending to play someone else's greatest hits. If it's on your shopping list, maybe eliminate it first. Number 4. BMW R18. The BMW R18 is a huge, eye-catching cruiser that grabs attention, but once you buy it, it's usually for the wrong reasons. Starting at around $16,000 and crossing $20,000 with just a few add-ons, it quickly turns into an expensive piece of garage decoration for many owners. Sure, the R18 drips with retro swagger and German engineering on the spec sheet, but in real life, it's a bulky, awkward attempt to compete with Harley that stumbles over itself. That 1,800cc boxer twin makes big torque, but in city traffic it feels like too much engine with too little finesse. At nearly 800 pounds, low-speed maneuvers feel like you're competing in a strongman event. Maintenance is classic BMW, expensive. Oil changes, valve checks, and parts cost more than you expect. Drop it once, something many new owners admit to doing, and the repair bill will make you rethink your entire life. Resale value plummets faster than day-old guacamole. Bottom line, the R18 looks incredible parked in a showroom, but once on the road, it becomes a regretful Tinder date. Awkward, pricey, and hard to get rid of. Number 3. Triumph Rocket 3. The Triumph Rocket 3 is a rolling contradiction, a motorcycle built to impress while overwhelming the rider. With a starting price around $24,000, it's one of the most expensive ways to say you bought way too much motorcycle. Yes, it has a ridiculous 2,500 ccs engine, the largest on any production bike. But it's like using a chainsaw to slice a birthday cake. At nearly 700 pounds, every ride feels like a workout session. Leaning through traffic or taking a corner, be ready to sweat through your jacket. Power is definitely there, but comfort is not. That stiff rear suspension might look nice, but when American roads throw potholes the size of compact cars at you, your spine will definitely protest. Fuel economy? Laughable. Maybe 30 mpg if you're gentle, but nobody buys a Rocket 3 to ride gently. Repairs and insurance aren't cheap either. Triumph parts aren't common, and if you drop it, which is easier to do than you'd think, expect a repair bill that hurts. The Rocket 3 becomes a showpiece trapped in a heavyweight body. It's proof that bigger isn't always better, especially when chiropractor visits come with a package. Number 2. Harley-Davidson Road Glide. The Harley-Davidson Road Glide is a $25,000 mix of wind tunnel style and buyer's regret. On paper, it sounds like a touring dream, a big V-twin frame-mounted fairing, and that classic Harley presence. But after signing the papers, the dream begins to fall apart. At nearly 900 pounds, it rides like a couch with a hangover. Low-speed handling feels like leg day in the gym, and parking the thing is basically docking a boat. The infotainment system might look high-tech in ads, but it behaves like it was built by someone who has never used a smartphone. Glitches, lag, and dropped Bluetooth connections turn long rides into long sighs. The Milwaukee 8 engine throws off enough heat to toast your legs by mile 10. Even with the price tag, the suspension refuses to absorb bumps. It treats every pothole like a wake-up slap. Fuel economy? Let's just say you'll know all the attendants at your local gas station by name. And the exhaust note? Sure, it's loud, but more public disturbance than cool rumble. Resale drops quickly. The Road Glide isn't a terrible bike, but it's a painfully expensive way to learn that you should have taken a longer test ride before buying. Number 1. Indian Chief. The Indian Chief is the perfect example of all show and no go. It looks like a $17,000 slice of American heritage, but after a week of riding, you realize where the money went. Into shiny chrome instead of real performance. Its 111 CI engine and classic cruiser stance sound great on paper. In real riding, it handles like a barge rolling down the highway, almost 700 pounds in corners, with the enthusiasm of a retired buffalo. The features feel stuck in a time warp from 2009. No ride modes, no advanced safety aids, and a digital display that makes an old flip phone seem modern. Ride quality? As if the suspension was tuned by someone who thinks discomfort builds character. Highway riding turns into chiropractor sessions. City riding feels like punishment. And the heat output? This thing roasts your thighs like it's preparing a barbecue. Service isn't easy to find either. Indian's dealership network is thin unless you live near a major city. Parts are expensive and slow to show up. Resale drops fast. The Indian Chief is stunning when parked in your driveway, but out on the road it's a regret machine wrapped in chrome. And that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe for more brutally honest motorcycle content.